Finally, the day has come. SpaceX is going public, probably in June, with an estimated valuation of $1.75 trillion. And we need someone to break down the hype. Why is the valuation so high despite the revenue streams being quite low? How is the merger with XAI going? What has Terrafab to do with all these things going on? And what is the future mission and aim for SpaceX to be having a valuation of $1.75 trillion? There are a lot of questions for everyday investor out there. And before you participate or buy any shares of SpaceX, you need to understand what the company does, what's the mission of the company, and what's the potential revenues of the company long term. This is Reuters talking about the IPO a couple of days back. So let's listen to what they have to say about everything that's going on.
And liftoff. Go.
SpaceX outlined details of its highly anticipated initial public offering at a meeting with its team of bankers Monday night, telling them it plans to set aside a large portion of shares for retail investors. According to two sources, Chief Financial Officer Brett Johnson told the bankers that retail participation will be a critical part of the IPO and a bigger share than any IPO in history. He said the approach is intentional, aimed at recognizing people that have been incredibly supportive of the company and its founder, Elon Musk. Reuters reported last month that SpaceX is rewriting the IPO playbook with the large retail portion in the offering. The IPO is expected to be the largest ever. The rocket maker is seeking to raise $75 billion, a move that could value the company at up to $1.75 trillion. The firm is set to begin its investor roadshow the week of June 8th, when executives and bankers start presenting the deal. On June 11th, it expects to host about 1,500 retail investors at what sources described as a major investor event. Everyday retail investors in the US, UK, EU, Australia, Canada, Japan, and Korea would get the opportunity to take part, a source said. The final structure of the deal, including the size of the retail allocation, is expected to be determined closer to the IPO launch. The sources also said SpaceX plans to make its IPO prospectus public in late May. The company did not immediately respond to a request for comment. Morgan Stanley, Bank of America, Citigroup, JP Morgan, and Goldman Sachs are leading the deal, along with 16 other banks.
If you appreciate what you've seen so far, don't forget to drop a like and subscribe. And also you can find the Buy Me Coffee link down below if you want to support my initiative here on the channel. Thank you so much. And let's continue talk about SpaceX. All right, so SpaceX going public, $1.75 trillion in valuation. How are they earning money? What are they doing? And is the company even profitable before going public? Well, SpaceX standalone, if you remove the acquisition of XAI that they did back in February, the company is very profitable, at least based on the revenue they have. So $17 billion in revenue, and half of that is almost profit. So it's a very profitable company based on their services, which is, well, they aim to revolutionize the space technology, and they are the world's leading launch service provider. And we know this, they are using different types of rockets to launch satellites, cargo services for communication companies, telecom companies, military companies, the defense of the United States of America, and even projects for NASA, etc. So they are in their launch businesses earning a lot of money. I would say maybe this is not the most profitable part of SpaceXI or SpaceX, I mean, but still they are making back the money they are investing in R&D, etc., to build and create the future for these rockets. So they are obviously a part of a human space flight now and in the future. They are helping astronauts, etc. And the commercial space industry is something they are aiming for long term with the reusable rockets, etc. So that's one part, not earning massive amount of money through that yet. Also, this is their cash cow, I would say. So they have used a lot of subsidies and long-term investments to launch satellites up in space, and through that they are connecting the satellites with advanced encryption, etc., to provide high-speed internet across the globe. And you can For I think it's about $40 a month or something. You can sign up and get the internet connection through SpaceX. So this is like a moat. No other company has the capabilities to launch satellites like they have done, because they have used government contracts, etc., to fund these type of investments to have that cash generating operations long term. So this is something they are using to build a foundation for the valuation they have. So if we say SpaceX, not accounting for XAI, has $16 billion in revenue, well, to reach 8 billion in profit there, obviously they need something that is generating a lot of cash that are not costing them a lot, and that is the high speed internet from space. And yeah, you can see here, um, the star called Starlink. Starlink is also providing services when it's, for example, war, etc. You can use the Starlink here to get an edge in terms of internet that, for example, has been used in the war between Ukraine and Russia. So if we push the order button here, you can see here. Yeah, this is in Swedish krona, so this is about 50 40 $45 per month for the services. And I would say that's almost the same price as a high-speed internet just from any provider down at earth. So it's actually a quite good deal, especially if, um, for example, SpaceX and Starlink has a better encryption than a lot of the telecom companies down on earth. Because a lot of, when you use the Ethernet, etc., at home, actually what you surf on, and when you visit websites, etc., the telecom company are selling your information out there, to everyone who wants to buy it. But I guess the proposition of SpaceX and Starlink long term here is that it's a more safe space, and they can provide you with that information encryption, etc., that will have your privacy more intact, so to speak, and that will be a long term proposition for them. So if they scale Starlink, I think the cash flow will be just insane. So that is a part of the long term valuation. So what we have to think about here is, if you combine XAI with SpaceX, then suddenly you go from $8 billion profit to a $5 billion loss. So at the moment, XAI, the AI company of Elon Musk, are burning through cash like there is no tomorrow, basically. And here are using the capabilities of investors, loans, different companies to keep funding the AI project. And in the longer run, I think Elon Musk is thinking similar to OpenAI or Anthropic, etc., that this is an opportunity we can't miss. We need to be the leaders in the AI space. This is the future. Maybe there are a lot of upfront costs, but if we have the positioning we need long term, that will really provide you with being able to be the frontier in terms of AI and intergalactic traveling, or, well, maybe not intergalactic, but at least in our own solar system, going to first the moon and start having businesses there, and later to Mars, etc. So that is what Elon Musk wants to see while he's still alive, and he's over 50 years now. So he wants to do this fast, pulling all the strings he have to get the funding. And yeah, it's very interesting to see. So how can we come closer to a valuation of $1.75 trillion? That is about 100 or at least 90x the revenue of XAI and SpaceX combined. So compare that with an innovative company down on earth, so to speak, like AMD, for example. AMD has like 10 price through sales. And after this IPO, I think SpaceX will be closer to 90x in terms of price through sales. So I mean, the valuation of this company will be through the roof. And long term, there will be a lot of time before they really can grow into this costume. And I think it will be a lot of years with huge investments before you can see a real ROI on the investments, and a real increase in terms of revenue gains per year, similar to what we have seen with Nvidia, for example, like numbers 100% revenue gains in 1 year, for example. I think long term that is where SpaceX want to be. They want to do the research and development. They want to do the investments. They want to build the terafab. They want to provide Starlink, etc., to the people, to governments, and then long term they want that compound revenue gains. But as an investor, you should understand that having a price through sales of 90 and above, that means a lot of growth is already priced in, and that will keep the upside a bit tight, at least short term. And you really, really need a long term view here, and you need to buy into all the visions out there if you want that valuation to continue to rise. And I think it will be hard for SpaceX after the IPO to just continue to soar. We have seen, for example, Nvidia now when they are over $4 trillion in valuation, that they kind of just continue to have insane revenue gains, but the stock price has like kind of plateau a bit, not increasing as much anymore. And probably what SpaceX need to do, they need to have a lot of upfront costs before they can really expand the revenues to match the valuation. So this is a way for them to get the money they need to expand, and they will need a lot of patient investors long term. And I don't think this can be just a hype stock that long term just continue to have 1, 2, 3, 4x in like 4 or 5 years, because the valuation just can't keep up with that. So if we had like an IPO of 6, 7, 800 billion dollars, maybe we could triple that long term. But having this IPO, I would say that maybe short term it can be some hype and you can earn money on the IPO, but long term I would be a bit cautious about investing all of your money in SpaceX. Obviously, you should not invest all of your money in one company, but you understand what I mean. Anyway, to reach the valuation, we have talked about Starlink, etc., and the launch services they have. They also have Starshield, a very important initiative providing secured satellite networks for government entities. It has been used a lot lately, especially through the government of the United States of America. So they are earning a lot of money here. Hosted payloads, communications, Earth observations, very important stuff, obviously. And security is a big part of the future, the AI space, etc. And SpaceX is a great play here. Also, I think it's important to talk about terafab. Maybe you've heard some talk about terafab lately. It's through a Tesla perspective, but obviously being out here on the side of SpaceX, we can see terafab also, which means this will be a part of the marketing of terafab and the IPO, that this is a part of SpaceX also. You can see here SpaceX, XI, and Tesla are joining together, kind of needing the terafab long term. And they are launching the most epic shipbuilding effort ever, combining a logic, memory, and advanced packaging under a roof. You need to understand this is an effort, so we don't have the ROI on this yet. We don't know how easy it is to just build and sustain profits in building your own factories, because if you could do it that easily, obviously, or all companies down on earth would already do it. So it needs expertise, execution, etc., to be the new TSMC or something similar. And yeah, I do like the long-term vision here, though, because obviously there are a lot of bottlenecks in terms of production of ships down on earth, and terafab supposedly will close the gap between today's ship production and the future demands a future among the stars. So the scale of Elon Musk vision just it doesn't match the supply down on earth, and he wants to control the growth of his companies and don't have to overpay for ships. So that is why they want this terafab, and they are using, I think, the IPO and some other secured loans here to really get going with this terafab ship manufacturing efforts. And they are using the Kardashev scale to really provide you with insights how they watch the world. So first we have harness all the energy on the planet. The second is like use the star. So they want to, Elon Musk is talking a lot about using the sun's energy a lot better. and using AI. And in space there are sun 24 hours a day, so you can use the sun's energy a lot more efficient. So that is the next step. And yeah, long term harness all the energy in a galaxy at scale. And here you can see the infinite scale. There we have our sun, and you can see all the stars around here. So that is the perspective here. So it's a large long term perspective that they are pushing. And yeah, that is what they are doing. They are builders, and they want to sell the impossible. And therefore, why not have a valuation of 90x the sales? That is might be sound insane, but if they can do something even close to what they are aiming for, you can obviously earn money long term on this play also. But just be cautious, because it's a very 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 high valuation compared to where they stand in terms of revenue at the moment.